Thinks I should have streamed Black Ops Cold War instead. Oh well. See what they got for extra battle. So this one I already did. I already did this one. This was the last one I need for Bison. Extra costume for cannon? Let's see, difficulty, hard, normal.
This will be perfect for a warm-up.
Ah, shut up, Ryu. I mean, Alex, dang it! I don't know how I got their names confused. Somehow it sounded like Ryu to me for a moment. Hey, Kun! I'm doing great, my brother. Or sister, I can't remember. How you doing? Doing well, I hope. Okay, so brother it is. You know SF6? Nah man, I'm broke. It's probably I probably won't be able to get Street Fighter 6 until either the very end of this month or possibly next month. Cause like first I gotta take care of my rent, then I gotta take care of my phone, get that online. So I gotta get those two things done first. Of course, it's not like it's not gonna really cost me an arm and a leg. Like just 1 week of I just gotta like just another 4 days worth of work, and that's just for the short hours at work. Will be enough to get me on track. What am I playing on? PS4. Unfortunately, Street Fighter 6 does have a PS4 version, so I'm best better believe I'm getting into that. Oh, okay. I really don't want to play it. Honestly, the first set of DLC for Street Fighter 6 really disappoints me. With the only exception being Akuma. Like, I'm not like super ultra hyped for Akuma, but he's not that bad. Hey, I wanna play? Play what? Street Fighter 5? Oh, if we can get that set up without disrupting the stream, because I don't know, it's a weird thing with Street Fighter 5. There are some menus or some options in it. There's some things I can't go into the menu for without it automatically closing the stream for some stupid reason. As for Street Fighter 6, if you're talking about game in Street Fighter 6,
Yeah.
well, I've been seeing.
I'm focused now.
Shut up, Sakura. I've been watching clips of Street Fighter 6, and best believe I do want to get the game, but I also at the same time I want to wait until more DLC comes out. Sure thing, eh? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we can play a bit together. But yeah, I want to get Street Fighter 6, especially for World Tour mode. I like World Tour mode. It seems like a cool game. But anyways, I want to wait until more DLC for Street Fighter 6 comes out. Because like I said, Akuma is the only person in the season 1 roster that looks the slightest bit interesting. No pressure to play. Man, hey, come man, hurry up, get over here so we can play together, man. Let's see what you got. Get your ass over here right now. But like of any Street Fighter 3 era characters like Alex, Remy, or Sean in the base roster really disappoints me. Like, come on, Capcom. The fans have made it clear to Capcom. We want more third strike characters. I want Alex and Sean in the roster, especially Sean. Like, man, of all the characters who deserves a comeback, give Sean a chance, man. Let us see where he's been. If all his years of training since Third Strike, going into 6, have finally paid off. So he's no longer considered the Dan Hibiki of the Third Strike crew. Oh, it doesn't launch. Yeah, but I don't want to make a Sean. I want the one and only Sean. That's the thing for me. I don't like making characters who are part of a pre-established lore. I don't like just recreating them. I like creating my own unique characters. It makes interacting with other characters that much more fun. That's why in games like DC Universe Online, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, any game that lets you make your own characters, all of my characters are unique characters. Because there's a whole series of lore that I created for myself that I want to get it established, but I gotta find the right people to get together to make that happen. Bootleg Vega Sagat. You know, actually, the one thing though, my one complaint about World Tour is that anytime your character is up against jobbers or basically anyone who's not part of the roster, who you can't learn new moves from, be it the base roster or as we've been shown with that new Crazy Bitch in her preview trailer, they're going to be adding them to the World Tour mode. The DLC characters, they're going to be added to the World Tour mode as characters who you can interact with and learn their moves from. And there's nothing wrong with that. My issue is just that every character in the base, and as we're going to see later on from the DLC, are all these characters who are on such a level that our character keeps getting their ass kicked by them. Like almost every time something happens and they meet this new character, almost odds are guaranteed they're gonna get beaten badly by that person. Like, I get it. These are characters that Capcom has established over the years. And some of them are new characters who they want people to take them at least serious or enjoy them on some level. But man, I do not like the idea of me creating a character, my character constantly getting their ass whooped or being shown up as just straight up embarrassed in almost every single cutscene they're in interacting with these characters. Like some of them where I want my character to be established as at least being that character's equal. Or at least close to. And the only time they're shown where they're showing the fruits of their labor or their skills come into play is usually against the non-playable characters, jobbers, and characters who have always been weak or easy to take down. Like Damned, when you run into him, I mean, he's freaking the very first boss you fight in Final Fight. So it should be no surprise that he's really not that strong compared to the other Final Fight and Street Fighter characters. But one thing a lot of games that lets you create your own character keep doing that annoys me is how a majority of them your character shows up in the cutscene but doesn't talk to anyone. Like your character doesn't say anything. And in my opinion, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 is the worst offender. And I say it's the worst offender because it's like there's literally no reason why your character in that game should not be able to talk.
I did it!
Like, let each character have unique dialogue based on what species and character class. Earthling, male or female Earthling, male or female Saiyan, Majin, Namekian, Ice-Jin, or each voice type. Yeah, they do talk, but that's only when you use the emotes, or like, either when you use certain super moves, ultimates, or certain attacks. But I mean in the cutscenes. In the cutscenes, rather if it's the ones where you got to keep pressing the button to skip through each dialogue, or when they're talking like regular cutscenes straight out of the anime or manga, they don't say anything then. It's in those moments they don't talk. Like cutscenes used to literally advance the story. Like I'm like, let your character say something. The only time in the story mode in a cutscene you hear a character say something is when they fire off a super Kamehameha to ultimately defeat Mira. That's it. And even outside of that, in other cutscenes where your character is shown fighting, they don't make any kind of sound. Not even a grunt of like a sigh of pain or relief when something happens, or even anything kind of exciting. Yeah, that's what I was talking about when they say Kamehameha in the story. That's literally it. And it's also in game when either you're in the lobby and you make them do a certain emote and they'll say full sentences. So that shows that they recorded dialogue for each voice type that you could pick. Each voice type that is gender specific. Male voices, female voices, and the tone in which they speak. High, mid, or low tone voices. And your character doesn't even have to say a lot. Your character doesn't have to say a lot, just like somebody says something or asks them a question, and you can choose whatever response they give, and they say that. It doesn't have to be like a whole novel of dialogue. Because I understand they brought in, there's a lot of people, or at least a lot of different voice types. And if each voice type you could choose between is all different characters, if it's all different, or if it's all different people they hired to do those, to record those voices, then what the heck else is she have? Then again, just shorten whatever it is they have to say so as to save their budget. Trigger 1. Oh, that was cool.
I did it!
I think definitely one of the best examples of a character who does have full voice dialogue that you get to create is your character from, at least from the second game onwards in the Saints Row series. Because Saints Row 1 your character doesn't speak. But from the second game onwards, your character does speak. Hey, I did not do that. I did not oh. Hey, I finally got a match. Ah, Sunny D. Orange strawberry flavor. Ooh, I am so taking a break from drinking a whole bunch of artificially made stuff. Stick to water once I get back to work next week. Ah, Kent. I really like the top and gloves they gave him in this game. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Saints Row. Because definitely, like, your character's personality from Saints Row 2, to Saints Row 4 is such a huge contrast between your character's personality in that game versus your character's personality in World Tour mode of Street Fighter 6. Because in Street Fighter 6, it's not even the lack of dialogue. Just how your character seemingly just lets people do and say whatever they want, and your character just behaves in a way like someone with little to no backbone. Your character is a bit of a no-nonsense. Your character's a bit of a no-nonsense individual. It still has a bit of they still have a sense of humor. See, Saints Row 2 onwards, they have a sense of humor, but they still take things serious. They know not to threaten people, but they don't take crap from people. Street Fighter 6 World Tour mode, your character is just basically letting people say and do things to you. Unless the character is a weak, no-name jobber. That's the only time your character gets to shine. Haha! Your fire style karate is good, but my tiger style Muay Thai is far superior. Oh, was I actually safe on that? I know a lot of stuff Scott has is not safe on block. Or on block. Why are you doing that? Kinda just wasted his meter there. How long you gonna be streaming? Now let me see. It's 4:39. So I plan on walking down to Dollar Tree later, which is about a 30-minute walk. At least try to get there before 9. So depending on how things go, probably for like about a few hours. Okay, they left. But now, where was I? Oh yeah, based on the way your character interacts in SF6. Again, if it's a jobber, your character is a bit more forceful and doesn't take crud from anyone. But if it's an established character, then again, that depends.
I go too far.
If they're a playable character, base roster or DLC, they just basically let things happen to them. They do take all the crud from other people. If it's a non-playable character, like Dan, then once again, they don't take crud from that person. Sakura got some weird looking judo moves.
I did it!
And again, it's a complete contrast because in Saints Row, at least from Saints Row 2 onwards, when your character is able to speak, and they show. Now, I don't know much about. I know in 1 your character doesn't speak, but rather they do take crud from other people. I don't know because I didn't play the game. I've played Saints Row 2, 3, and 4. kick. And so, like I said, your character, how your character interacts, just all depends. They have a sense of humor. Any of their friends, as long as they don't betray you, your character is good friends with them. They're loyal to the people. They take care of things. But they do have a tendency to go about it in some of the more destructive and chaotic ways. But still try to keep it under control as best they can. Suck it! Now, one of the things that's it's under on one hand it's completely understandable, but on the other hand it's still annoying how it works. Games that let you create that creates your own character, but you interact with legacy characters. Now they may do things a certain way where your character, like just based on how your character interacts with other people, your custom character either gets their ass kicked again. It's like Street Fighter 6, as I keep mentioning. Your character getting their ass whooped by people in the base roster. But I understand those are legacy characters. They want to establish their top tiers, or all, not even just top tiers or based on power scaling, but just how popular a character is. Because, like, would you like the idea of seeing a fan favorite like Ryu? Like, your character is a newcomer who's new to the scene of fighting against people. Would you like it if someone like Ryu were to suddenly get beaten? Like, he's going all out using his full power, but he still loses to your custom character who's a new guy, a complete noob, who does not have the power of nothingness like Ryu does. Does he have the Satsui no Hado like Ryu originally did before he, along with Goken's help, managed to purge himself on it? Like, would you really want to see that? Like, some people may like the idea, saying, well, he had his time to shine, let someone else come along and have a turn. Something like that. But other games, like Dragon Ball, it's like the opposite in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Because in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1 and 2, they don't mind your character getting strong enough to where it's basically like your basic story progression. Your character is weak, so they start off by fighting characters at the beginning of the series. Starting off with the Saiyan Saga. First you fight Raditz, then you go on to defeat Nappa, then Vegeta, and as time goes on, they don't really give a specific timeline for like, does the story take place over the course of weeks, days, months, hours even? But eventually your character becomes so strong that they're able to fight Final Form Mira. But of course that depends, because like by that time if your character is a Saiyan, they should hypothetically have Super Saiyan 1, 2, and 3, or Super Saiyan Blue, or even Blue Evolved, or Super Saiyan God at least unlocked. And typically, depending on how the story goes, on average, you will have Goku who shows up and goes Super Saiyan Blue to fight alongside you. So you got a high level Super Saiyan Blue fighting alongside you, along with whatever high level transformation you may have. Which now, as of the latest update to Xenoverse 2, includes the Beast transformation. So that could be whatever type of character you pick, along with the Beast transformation, or potential Unleashed. Or you could say, oh, maybe, well, it could be specifically Goku did most of the fighting, considering how. Bro, I gotta get going. All right, see you, Akon. Ah, Nakali, your English voice sucks, man. Sakura Rain. Oh, that's V-skill too. Okay. Oh, how convenient. We could play next time, or even Xenoverse. Akon, if you got Xenoverse 2, man, I do not mind joining you in that game, man. Like, I would so much rather just team up with you in Xenoverse 2, or even probably a few matches, but mostly team up in that one. Like, if you ever get the time to, just let me know, and we can hop on that anytime. Well, anytime if I don't have work that day. I forgot what I was talking about earlier. Oh yeah, how certain games treat how your character interacts with fighters. So again, on the one hand, they don't want your character some games they don't want your custom character showing up. Again, they're their own characters who are part of the established lore. So that could explain why in Street Fighter 6 your character is treated like such a pansy, in so many scenes, unless again the character they're interacting with is an unplayable jobber. Or it could be like Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, where the way people treat your character, a vast majority will actually treat your character with respect. They'll be all like, huh, this person's got potential. So it goes from the beginning, your character having potential, to by the end of the game, oh, your character is definitely up there with the elite. Your character is up there with the likes of Goku and Vegeta. And that's also what the Saints Row games does. They treat your character, well, if anything, they don't treat your character like a pansy, but more let's see, Saints Row 1 onwards, they treat your character goes from also being, hey, this guy's got potential, to, oh, you're at the top of the food chain. You're absolutely someone not to be messed with. Any enemy who underestimates you is an idiot. Okay, that was cool. You know, I wouldn't feel as awkward saying that someone like Poison looks hot if it wasn't for the way Capcom treats her, at least in the West. Because if I remember, she was always made to be female when the game originally released in Japan, and it's only when it came to America, and I think it was more out of desperation that they said she was a new half, just to avoid possibly offending anyone about the characters you could pick between Cody, Guy, and Hagar, who are all men beating up on a woman. So I think it was, but then again, other games didn't really do that. Beat 'em ups, fighting games, they didn't really try to say oh, this female is a new half or a cross-dresser or whatever, just to avoid any possible censorship or any weird controversy. Because what's interesting about that is that some people convinced Poison is 100% female, and that was just Capcom's way back then of trying to avoid any issues with any feminist groups. Others truly believe that Poison is like either a hermaphrodite, you know what I mean, or that she's like a cross-dresser, like a guy just dressing up as a woman. So that's like the issue with Capcom, and the difference between how Poison is portrayed either in Japan or in America. But there's her palace swap, Roxy, who's literally like her but just with orange hair. They had no problem establishing that Roxy is 100% all female. So I'm like, wait a minute. So the one with the pink hair, you go through all this trouble to avoid any issue with feminists and offending anyone by saying she's a new half in America. But her palette swap, who's also in the game, you have no problem keeping her established as female. So ever since then, they played with the idea of her being one or the other. Like, what started off as something done out of desperation is now just done as a joke. There's a lot of things they did that was originally meant to be a joke, but then it went to that kind of joke where it's like, it's just too funny to not keep it around. Like Dan Hibiki, his design, fighting style, any of his moves being based off Ryo and Robert, who themselves are very similar to Ken and Ryu. So Capcom, and that's from SNK, Capcom made Dan as a way of poking fun at SNK as well. Where is that? And there's only like 3 DLC characters I haven't gotten. There you are. Oh, sweet, Kenji. One of my favorite characters from Red Earth.
Allow me a moment to entertain you.
I forget, what was that one game? What it was one of those collection type games that has multiple games that Capcom released over the years that lets you play various arcade games they released. One of which being Red Earth, finally. Since for whatever reason they never released it on console. Not that I recall.
I'll show you the epitome of beauty.
I don't like the Vega's. I don't like Vega's stance in this game. It looks so weird. Now, what other fighting games is it where you create your own character, and your character gets the respect that they deserve? Let's see, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2.
I guess I should look for a new combo.
Let's see, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. If I remember 1 as well, yeah. So it's Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1 and 2. The Xenoverse series. I should have just said that at the beginning.
Like I'll have to trade.
He's doing a whole lot of extra for an idle animation. Xenoverse games, the Saints Row series. I'm trying to remember, what's another one your character gets the respect they deserve? Oh yeah, the Dragon Age series. Dragon Age. Of course, that also really depends on your character's actions, because if your character you can make your character into a real asshole if you want to, and some people will leave, especially in Dragon Age Inquisition, your character can leave the Inquisition just because they don't like what your character is becoming or turning the Inquisition into. And I hope they keep that same energy, because they're supposed to be making a new one, Dragon Age Dreadwolf. Was it Dreadwolf or Dreadnought? No, it's Dreadwolf. Should be no surprise how much of Zeku's moves are a lot like Strider or Strider Hiryu, who's from the Strider organization that trained him. So I think it was like someone said it's Capcom's way of establishing or connecting the Street Fighter series to the Strider series. An overall connected universe with Street Fighter at the center. That being, oh yeah, well they also someone said how basically that Zeku is the one who essentially created or jump-started what eventually will lead to the Strider organization. So then that would be Street Fighter, Final Fight. Yeah, what are the games? Street Fighter, Final Fight, Strider. I'm trying to remember, there was other games, characters from other games that have appeared in the Street Fighter universe. But it's primarily Street Fighter, Final Fight, and thanks to Zeku with his moveset and all that. Now Strider as well.
Let's go! 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 Let's go!
Okay, so it's meant to be used as a cross.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Yeah, so whatever that cross-up move of his is does not recover fast enough even on hit to continue a combo. Maybe I'll counter it. Kage, okay. Go with a different beast skill that actually up close and personal. There's a lot of moves that are the system exclusive that really would have helped the character if it was just part of their normal moveset. Instead of being chained only to beat skill or beat trigger. Like M. Bison's Cycle Crusher, Alex's Spiral DDT, and Headlock. Did I already mention M. Bison's Cycle Crusher? I think I did. Oh, well, nothing I can do about it. I'm just glad it gave him... Oh! Okay, there was something about his costume that was confusing me at first. I was like, oh, okay, Asura. Man, the recovery. When I initially hit him with that crouching medium into low fireball, I should went for a super at least. So that's like one of the few characters in this game who I can go the distance with without needing to rely on meter too much. Man, Kaga looks so stupid with having only his bottom teeth protruding. Should have had like his top teeth protruding as well. Just his bottom teeth is weird. Dang! I was hoping my light punch in the air would have counted him. Oh, this is gonna hurt. Dang, I tried to go for his super. I wanted that in that combo. Game will not give it to me. Oh well. You know, one thing that annoyed me about Asura throughout Asura's Wrath was how he was constantly taking damage to the point where either he was losing the metal on his arms or he was just losing his arms entirely. I was like, dang it, Asura, is it possible for you to go all out without losing your arms constantly? Like, he had great strength, but his durability was very questionable. So what, his entire moveset changes like this? Near opponent in air. Quarter circle forward punch, back punch, forward in the air, quarter circle forward. Okay. I gotta switch to a different character. Man, a lot of defensive opponents, either the AI or actual players. Just goes to remind me why I like Grappler so much. Hey, didn't I play against this person earlier? Speaking of grapplers, or semi-grapplers, I really hope we get Shiva back in MK1. Like, I hope she's in the base roster, but they probably might end up making her DLC. Like, please give us Shiva as a playable character, not just a cameo fighter.
Can't start the show. Not done yet. Huh? Not done yet. Right there. Right there. Right there. Right there.
Hey, I got a new follower. Dang it!
Come back soon.
Now I gotta play keep away again. Is that like a command grab? I think it is.
Not yet. I'm not done.
Oh, I forgot I had the music turned off. I keep forgetting about the dang follow-up. The king of the wrestle. Of course, he doesn't have the personality to be the king of the wrestling ring. He's a kickboxer, not a. He's a kickboxer, not a dang wrestler. That's like judging a Taekwondo fighter for not behaving like a Sambo expert. Haha, I got your number. Okay, I do not remember paying attention to her health. I did not know poison was such a glass cannon. Okay, that looks so cool. What you laughing at, Scott? This dance does look a little weird in this game. should have went for the low.
Come back.
Whoa, I did not expect that.
Right there. What you looking at? Nice try. Nice try.
Woo! That was fun. Sheesh, I don't think they give any other female in this game thighs as thick as hers. I don't think Chun-Li's even that thick. Actually, except for her Rainbow Mika. Rainbow Mika definitely has quite a bit of muscle on her. Of course, and none of the ladies in this game got anything on Marisa in Street Fighter 6. I remember Marisa generated a bit of controversy amongst people because of just how muscular she is. Some people were convinced she was like a cross-dresser, like a man cross-dressing as a woman. Others were convinced she was a tranny. They thought she was like supposed to be a male to female trans woman. And yet then the game finally comes out, or at least they finally reveal her, and what the hell? They finally reveal Marisa, and it turns out, nope, she's 100% woman, just very muscular. Of course, some people keep trying to argue about Marisa, saying no woman looks like that. And it's like, yeah, in real life, no woman naturally looks like Marisa. Even a lot of those female bodybuilders aren't nearly as big or as tall like Marisa. Not that women being 6 feet or taller doesn't exist. Wait, how tall is Marisa? I think she's like supposed to be 6 foot or 6'1". No. If I remember, Elena is supposed to be taller. She's supposed to be like 6'8", not quite 7 foot. So she's not the tallest, but she is the biggest of the females. But when it comes to the male characters, she's still a short compared to them. Because when it comes to the tallest men in the Street Fighter series, on the lower end is Zangief at 7 foot exact. Then you got others taller than him: Sagat, T-Hawk, Q, Hugo, Abigail. I think I'm missing another character. Hey, isn't Fong supposed to be over 7 feet? Like 7'1" or 7'2"? If I remember, he's supposed to be. But still, again, it's like the fact that so many people kept arguing about saying Marisa shouldn't look like that because women don't naturally look like that. And it's like, but it's fiction. How tall, how big, how strong men and women are, what they look like, how they behave in a game or any work of fiction is never going to be the same as in real life. So light makes into stop ceiling. Medium is a low. Heavy is a overhead. First, switch my favorite character. Where are you? Alright, do I want Zangief or Rainbow Mika? I'll I'll try a Rainbow Mika.
I'll totally make this look cool!
Now, where was I talking about earlier? Oh, yeah. Marisa, people talking about how no woman looks like her in real life naturally. And I thought that's ridiculous because, I don't know, you can't get mad at a character looking or behaving in a certain way in fiction, because fiction, obviously fiction is inspired by, keyword, inspired by real life, but expecting it to follow 100% realism, that's just asking for a bit much. Like, if your hatred for a character is based on rather if they hating a character because their character doesn't behave exactly like certain types of people do in real life, that's just doing a bit much. Like, for instance, do people in Street Fighter, plenty of them, have the power to shoot fireballs from their hands. Yet nobody in real life fires high. No, nobody shoots fireballs from their hands, their feet, or from their mouths, or from their eyes in real life. So you're gonna get mad at a character for not following the quote-unquote realism for that? That's just like how, like, Chun-Li can kick so fast. That's why she has a move that's literally called lightning legs, because she's able to kick multiple times in a quick second. Whereas in real life, that's impossible for any human to move that fast. And yet, I don't see anyone getting mad saying how no woman can kick that fast in real life multiple times in one quick session. Oh, I forgot about that. Shadowloo face at night. Man, there's so many characters I'd like to see come back in Street Fighter 6. Like Oro, one of the few people capable of matching Akuma at full power. Like, Oro going all out and using both arms is like the equivalent of Akuma unleashing his full power and becoming Shin Akuma. Like, man, that's what I wanted to see. Those two were actually, the reason why those two stopped fighting is because they agreed that if they continued fighting in their base, even in their base forms, the fight would lead to like mutual destruction. In other words, those two's powers are so even that it causes the other to fear the possibility of their own death. And actually, another character who can match Akuma, at least base form, don't know about Shin, but who can match base form Akuma is his own brother Goken. Excuse me. Let's see. So people who can match Akuma, at least in base form, is Oro, Goken, and Gen. And that's what's cool about Gen. The thing I like about Gen is that he doesn't have some fancy energy manipulation gimmick like Oro does with Senjutsu that lets him shoot energy balls and gives him power of telekinesis. So that's what Senjutsu does. It gives you energy-based projectiles like the Satsu no Hado gives people, the Hadoken and whatnot. So he can shoot fireballs. It gives him great strength. Well, everybody in Street Fighter has great strength, much more powerful than any real life human. But for Senjutsu, for Oro, it's especially much more apparent. And what else does it do? It gives him the ability to sense. He's able to sense other forms of energy, and I think some kind of sense of precognition. Because in one of the characters, Manat's story, she visits him trying to warn him of future events that Aura himself said he's already aware of. in addition to telekinesis. That's like the cool, to me that's the coolest thing about Senjutsu, giving you the power of telekinesis. Now, where else was I going with this? Oh yeah, so that's what Oro has. Goken has the power of nothingness, which he created as an opposition to the Satsui no Hado, or Dark Hado, Surge of Killing Intent. Basically, where the Satsui no Hado is a power that allows someone to tap into while giving in to their darker desires, their desperation to win, to the point of committing murder. The power of nothingness is like the opposite. It allows one like Ryu and Goken to tap into their inner power to become stronger, but without necessarily having these, without being motivated by darker desires. So that's what Oro and Goken have. Both of them have that gives them some kind of just it gives them superpowers. That's all I'm gonna say. It gives them superpowers. Superpowers that allows them to face Akuma. Like for Goken, definitely Akuma in base form. Oro it gives him power to match both base and Shin form. But Gen may not be able to match Shin Akuma like Oro can, but he can still fight base form. Very few people can fight Akuma in his base form. It's just those other three that those three specifically I named. And base form Akuma has enough power to easily destroy whole mountains in a single strike and sink an entire island like he did in Street Fighter Alpha 2.
Only half my effort.
Excuse me.
You will feel my wrath.
Now where was I? Oh yeah, the thing I like about Gen is how even others who have energy based gimmicks like M Bison with the psycho power, even Ryu with the power of nothingness. We see Ryu with the power of nothingness, Macaulay with all his weird powers, M Bison with his
Guess it's time to start warming up.
and Bison with his psycho power, Gil and Urien with their elemental based abilities. None of them come close to being able to fight base form Akuma. And yet Gen doesn't have any of that. Literally what Gen has is multiple decades, more than 10, 20 more than 10, 20, 30 years of training in his martial arts, in his assassination style. That's all Gen has. He doesn't have any energy or aura based abilities to enhance himself. He has no Hadoken, no Sonic Boom, no Psycho Crusher, none of that. And yet he could fight base form Akuma. Like literally Akuma only stopped fighting him because he sensed that Gen was sick. What is Gen's sickness? Was it not leukemia? The heck was I thinking of? I think it's tuberculosis. Well, anyways, it's some kind of sickness that Gen has that made Akuma stop his fight and retreat. How much damage was that? 302 damage. 325. So the grounded one is more damaging. But the Joko combo is more entertaining to look at. Dang it. Okay, that was weird. So I can, it would only work if I activate it, then launch it. And look at the turtle yawning. I like how they have Oro just holding a turtle. So he still keeps the gimmick of fighting with one hand, but now while holding a turtle. Oh, sweet, that still works too. Dang. It's like a very short window to cancel the first hit of the uppercut into his super.
So you think I'm still hit with it?
Yeah, I gotta say, well, for a lot of characters, between Street Fighter 3 Third Strike and this game, a lot of them are a lot easier to get the handle of. Aura's supposed to be a turtle type of character. Like, basically, you're supposed to, like, you slowly pick your opponent's health apart, pick their health down over time, and play a bit of a hit and run sort of style. Kind of like with Dulcim. In other words, you're in it for the long run. You gotta take your time, chip it away at their health. You're not gonna do huge burst damage.
Only half my effort should be enough.
Quite like someone like Akuma. Or, let's see, someone who could do burst damage in combos like Akuma, or burst damage in single individual moves like Zangief, especially with his heavy normals and his heavy command grabs. Oro, yeah, you gotta be patient with him. You know, if I was in the Street Fighter universe, while the idea of having powers that give you cool auras, like the Satsu no Hado, the power of nothingness, psycho power and all that would be cool, or even Senjutsu giving you telekinesis, I would also like to be like Gin, someone who doesn't have any sort of power that gives them some badass aura, nor any energy or projectile based abilities. Even those who have strong ki, but is still considered like on the weaker side, like Chun-Li, whose energy based abilities are very light even compared to Ryu, or even someone with even lesser energy based abilities like Ken, but he still has it. Gen is someone with no energy or aura based abilities at all. And yet he's still considered among the S tiers in Street Fighter. Among the because again, Gen is among the very few people who can actually contend with who can contend with Akuma. Rather we're talking base or Shin Akuma, to be able to fight Akuma to the point where he takes you serious is very cool. But the only reason why Akuma left is because he sensed that Gen was dying of a sickness. Like without that, Akuma absolutely would have continued to fight.
You will feel my wrath.
Man, I'm so used to hearing Akuma's voice in Japanese that it so feels weird to hear his voice in English. Because most people, when I see them play Akuma online, they usually have his voice set to Japanese. Sucks that his double high kicks only work on standing opponents. What's funny is that all the power that Oro has, and yet he still considers himself an amateur in his own art of Senjutsu. That's the thing that sucks about Street Fighter. A lot of characters who have such high power levels, a majority of it is people who have some kind of training and form that gives them esoteric abilities, or just straight up superpowers. So anyways, it's like, let's see, Dawson with the power of yoga that gives him the ability to levitate, teleport, shoot fire, and stretch his limbs. Macaulay, whatever the heck he's supposed to be, his powers allowing him to devour the souls of other warriors. And gives him an alternate form that allows him to, even for a brief while, contend with Ryu with the power of nothingness. And again, Ryu himself, be it the Satsu no Hado, which he originally had, but now he since got purged himself of it thanks to Goken, has the power of nothingness. And those three are all mountain level. Then you have those who are island level, the highest tier being island level, with Akuma, since he's sunk an entire island in base form, and others who could contend with him, Gen, Goken, and Oro. And Oro's the only one I'm convinced who can fight Akuma not just base, but Shin form as well. But the majority of the roster is primarily in the small building level. Not even Zangief's not even large. Zangief's not even large building level. Unfortunately. Whereas others like Gil, William, Alex. Gil, Orient, and Alex are all city block level. I thought Gil was way more powerful actually. I thought Gil was among the S tiers of the Street Fighter universe. Same thing with let's see, Gil and M Bison I thought were all actually island level alongside Akuma and whatnot. But it turns out they're only city block, which makes them even weaker than Ryu. And I thought Ryu was weaker than Gil. And boy, was I wrong. What's interesting though. Wait, come on, what was it? Go Hadouken, Sega go Shohan. Half circle forward. They made that original uppercut motion or something like that. Small for 3. Punch, kick, grab. Trigger 1 gives and the sun goes out to his regular. Man! Who was the idiot who thought batting this guy was a good idea? Seriously, screw this guy. He's annoying. Oh well. Now where was I? You know, the thing that gave me an idea of how certain scaling works was just from reading Baki the Grappler so much. Because characters like there was a video that I read where it was ranking who was it? Yujiro Hanma, and he's insanely powerful. Being the strong, well, in terms of physical strength, he's just slightly behind Pickle. But overall, he's the most dangerous being, the strongest creature on Earth in his series, and he's multi-city block. Well, it's like base form, he's multi-city block, but at his strongest, he's small town level with the demon back, because of how quickly he gets stronger day by day, with or without training, with or without fighting. He's just so far ahead of the pack. Oh, I forgot about that. So every time when I think about power scaling, especially other series that features martial arts like Baki the Grappler does, subconsciously I tend to think of that series. I think of Baki. So yeah, Baki the Grappler, their most powerful characters, like a lot of their A tiers are in City Block to City Block Plus, whereas their S tiers are multi-city block to small town level. So that would put them ahead of those who are city block like Gil, Urien, and Alex from Street Fighter, and well above everyone who's only small building level like Zangief, Chun-Li, Guile, a whole bunch of them, and Juri. Juri was only city block because of her Feng Shui engine alpha that she had in Street Fighter 4. When Street Fighter 5, and Bison destroyed it, so she had to get a beta engine, which brought her back to her base level of small building. Dang it! I forgot. I did not see how low my health was. Well, at least you still hit him. Empty jump. Take it. Poor Rainbow Mika. Where was I? Oh yeah, Bucket the Grappler. Plenty of their A tier characters like Jack, Oliva, and Sukune are City Block to City Block Plus. We'll put him even with the likes of Alex, Gil, and Urian or City Block. But above everyone else, because below City Block is small building level for everyone else, at least for Street Fighter. Anyone below in Street Fighter, anyone below City Block is a small building. Whereas plenty of characters who are below City Block in Baki are large building to large building plus. I should have went for an anti-air. Man, I don't think I've ever played against a Nikali this aggressive before. Like, he's very careful with how often he jumps. You cannot convince me his back throw is not based off of... Well, the animation is a lot similar to one of Brian's moves. Ah, he saw that coming. He saw that mix-up coming. What? Ain't that something? Oh man, well, Mika, your costume's glitching a bit there. Now, where was I? Who else also has power scaling that I keep thinking of? Oh yeah, Kengan. Basically everybody in Kengan, their power scaling is primarily up to large building level. Which is where basically... Actually, I don't know about Dopo Orochi. Dopo Orochi, some people say he's city block, others say he's large building plus. I'd say he's definitely got to be large. He's got to be okay. So on the lower end, like maybe depending on how he fights, he's large building plus. But at his highest effort, he's city block. like at the bottom of City Block. But then Kingen, a lot of their characters are large building, and lower. And part of that is that, like, for the Kingen fighters, they can do things like what you see in Baki, being able to shake whole buildings, but a lot of that usually requires, like in Kingen Ashura, when the two physically strongest characters at the time, Julius Reinhold and Wakatsuki Takeshi, they could only, when their punches collided, it led to the entire building they were in, that arena shaking. So they can cause large buildings to shake, but usually that requires two people of equal strength, like Waka and Julius, those two, like I said, being the physically strongest at the time of Kingen Ashura. And they were for a while at the beginning of Omega until they started introducing more characters on their level, if not stronger. But anyways, at that time, that's how it worked. Whereas in Baki the Grappler, the characters like Akuma could cause a whole building to shake just from their aura alone. So that's an interesting way to look at it. It took two people throwing a very powerful punch at each other of equal force and strength to cause a building to shake. Whereas one individual by themselves can cause small earthquakes, or can cause small earthquakes with a single stomp, like Sukune does. Sukune casually causing the earthquake, or causing small earthquakes whenever he stomps his foot on the ground. Whereas Yujiro, just from him getting angry and his aura rising up, causing the whole entire skyscraper to shake, causing people to think it's an earthquake. Oh, dang. Well, good thing I'm fighting against the CPU, because my performance as a Kuma right now is sad. I need to practice with this character more. Like, for the longest, like when King and Ashura first came out, a lot of people were convinced that the characters in King and Ashura were not only equal to, but straight up superior to Baki the Grappler, and not just overall strength, like physical strength and durability, but speed as well. Until people actually started looking at the feats that both series have, the accomplishments, and it comes down to it, Baki the Grappler has a lot of the faster and stronger characters. Because at the time of King and Ashura, a lot of their characters would come up to being at least mid to fodder tier. To the point where even someone like Ali Jr., with all the hate he gets, would be able to fodderize a good portion of the Kingen roster.
Harmony. That is the truth of what you must seek.
Hey, how come you can't get that glowing effect for Gil when for the actual playable version? That's weird. Okay, so none of Akuma's heavy attacks are cancelled. Except for back heavy. Back heavy. I gotta do a quick match with him against Oro to see what his unique dialogue for Oro is. Because technically, if I remember in canon, Akuma and Oro didn't meet until Street Fighter 3. Kongo Kokuretsuza. Is that like a mountain? Is that supposed to be a mountaintop? You know, for characters like Akuma, Yujiro, and others who are supposed to be the apex predator in their respective whatever martial arts based series I'm thinking of, where they seek a truly worthy opponent. The thing that sucks about constantly gaining that much power and being able to keep gaining more power over time is that eventually it just gets to the point where odds are you might end up dying before you ever get that actual worthy opponent, someone who can actually be your equal. That person who can defeat you in combat without needing to rely on any kind of specific gimmick, like you not being as strong as you used to be because you're a lot older, or just something like that. You at your absolute most powerful, them at their most powerful, being able to beat who was I gonna pay? Oh yeah, Kuma.
You will feel my wrath. You will feel my wrath.
Now that I think about it, that's what I liked about. That's one thing about Kengan that I liked compared to Baki. Compared to Baki, to be a challenge, like if you're a Hanma, then yeah, with the right training and dieting, in other words, don't overtrain your body like Jack did. Go more the route of what Baki and what Baki and Yujiro do. Train and fight, but give your body. What was it? Give your body plenty of food and rest. Then that's the only way to become a match for any other Hanma. So like, yeah, in other words, if you're not a Hanma yourself, odds are you're not going to be able to truly challenge any other Hanma. You're not going to be able to challenge Akuma and Baki or Yujiro. Unless you're Musashi Miyamoto or Pickle. Am I seriously not building any meter? Dang it. He just says weak against Oro? That sucks. Then again, Akuma never really was the very talkative type compared to someone like Oro who could strike up a whole conversation with others. Akuma extremely introverted. And what was I saying about Baki? Oh yeah, in a series like Baki, in other words, you have to be like an extremely rare specimen like Musashi Miyamoto or Pickle to be a challenge to Baki, let alone Yujiro. And to be able to come close to challenging Yujiro, you gotta at least be another Hanma yourself. Because if you're neither of those things, if you're not a Hanma or an extremely rare and unique specimen in some way, they're not going to mean much of anything to those characters. Because if you're a strong individual like, say, Oliva or Sukune, then the highest you'd be able to go up to the challenge would be Jack. In other words, you're not coming close to any of the S tiers.
You will feel my wrath.
But yeah, for Kengan, at least for Kengan Ashura, back in Kengan Ashura, even someone who was B tier like Okubo could challenge someone who was S tier like, the hell was his name? The Fang of Metsudo. I forgot his name.
Well, let me test your skill. So it's
Oh yeah, Kano Agito. Someone who's B tier like Okubo could challenge an S tier like Kano Agito. It's possible. In other words, if you fight with like, if you got, as long as you got not just the strength to survive enough of their hits for a while, but if you also got the skills and keep on them, then even a B tier could potentially defeat an A or S tier. I have surpassed you, and I'll take. It will take more than 100 years for you to catch up. I like that about Oro. He really knows what to say to really hurt people's feelings. Straight up telling Akuma, not only has he surpassed him, but telling him it'll take over 100 years if Akuma even lives that long. Because if I remember, Oro's supposed to be immortal, isn't he? Because Senjutsu, man, Senjutsu is definitely one of the most. It's one of the most. What's I'm trying to say? It's one of the most underrated abilities in the Street Fighter universe. Because again, it not only gives you abilities like insane physical strength and durability, but it also gives telekinesis and I just remember it's supposed to give you longevity. So in other words, it's supposed to increase your lifespan, or at the very least make you immortal, as in you stop aging. The only reason why Oro is so old is just because it wasn't until by the time he reached old age that he finally unlocked, or not unlocked, that he finally mastered Senjutsu. Of course, I use the term mastered very lightly because Oro himself says that he's only an amateur in his style comparatively. So I'm like, wait a minute, if what he's saying is true and it's not just him being humble about it, then what would someone who truly has comfortably mastered Senjutsu, what would they look like? Would they be above mountain, or would they be above island level? With someone who mastered Senjutsu, or with more skill in Senjutsu than Oro, would they be able to one shot Akuma base or Shin form? Will they boost up from island level to say state or country level? Yeah, that's questions we're probably never going to get the answer to, because a lot of, as far as energy based abilities that at least have a name to it, the most talked about are Psycho Power, the Muto no Ken, aka Power of Nothingness, and the Satsui no Hano. Especially the Satsui no Hano is the most talked about. So unless something happens to Oro, odds are, if he really is immortal, or at least long-lived, then yeah, 100 years he probably looked the same, while everyone else by that time will either be extremely old or dead. Like, not even with the power of yoga, not even the power of yoga has so far shown to give Dhalsim immortality or anything of that sort. Neither does Satsui no Hano for Akuma. And of course, it's not even just a mastery of Senjutsu, but the studying and understanding of other types of energy throughout the Street Fighter universe that Oro himself has learned. even if he hasn't mastered them, he has learned about them and studied them. It wasn't a bit of Street Fighter V or where Oro was talking to Dhalsim, and while they were talking about different forms of energy, some, while used by evil people, aren't evil in of itself. Like how Oro, he's more of a, is the word neutral what I'm looking for? I would say he's definitely one of the good guys because he's not evil, but he doesn't exactly go out of his way to save the world or anything. He's more of a competitor like Ryu, just fighting because he enjoys it. He enjoys martial arts rather than fighting to protect the world or anything. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, Oro was having a conversation with Dhalsim, and this is a side story, Street Fighter V. While talking with Dhalsim about different types of powers, they were talking about psycho powers, Satsui no Hado. And at one point, Oro just starts tapping into the Satsui no Hado, started forming a similar purplish red aura like what you see with Evil Ryu and Akuma, which was very cool. Until he calms himself down, and thus the surge of murderous intent disappears, leading to the Satsui no Hado energy evaporating. Just like Oro's way of showing that whatever the type of power you're talking about, just about anyone can tap into it, and it's not something that's like exclusive. Like the Satsui no Hado isn't exclusive to Akuma or anyone who uses a similar martial art. And that goes for psycho power as well. It's the type of power that anyone can tap into, just regardless of fighting style or their alignment, if they're good or bad. And again, that just shows the level of mastery Oro has over just energy in general, making him one of the most like when it comes to the world of martial arts, making Oro one of the most intelligent in martial arts knowledge, if not the most intelligent, not just one of them. As well as like he's also extremely insightful, despite his weird attitude or personality being quite creepy at times. That's stupid. I hate limited time only released characters.
Oh, only half my effort should be enough.
Although it's weird because I remember when I read how Oro uses magic. At least during the time of Street Fighter 3, I don't know if they still say it now, but at the time of Street Fighter 3 New Generation came out, they said how Oro uses magic to seal one of his arms behind his back like either towards the phone. I'm like, does he really need magic? Couldn't he just like use his part of his gi or his outfit to tie his arm behind his back? Or if anything, shouldn't he just be able to hold it behind his back without any issue? I don't see how you would need magic just to hold your arm behind your back.
Only half my effort should be enough.
So I wonder if it's by obtaining the powers of Senjutsu that turned Oro's skin the way it is. Because Oro's supposed to be Japanese. He's Japanese, but he moved to Brazil. Something about some trouble he got into in his youth, leading him to escape to Japan and living somewhere in, was it Brazil? It was definitely South America, but I don't think it was supposed to be Brazil specifically. There's no way I'm training and looking at that over there.
Only half my effort should be enough.
Yeah, I hope they release Oro later on as DLC. That way, your character in World Tour mode can unlock his moves. Especially his super that gets in the multi-slam. They should have made it a Dankman grab. At least the regular one. Dang, according to the wiki I'm reading, Oro's supposed to be 140 years old.
I guess it's time to start warming up.
I'm trying to remember. Isn't Kaku Kaio from Baki also supposed to be 140? Because he was, oh wait, he was 120 years old when he impregnated, what was the name of it? It was another Kaio who's supposed to be his son. Was it Shin Kaio? No, Shinsei. Shinsei Kaio is his son. Or at least the oldest of his sons. And he's 20 years old. So yeah, Kaku Kaio was 120 years old. So he should also be 140 something about by the present in Baki the Graphic. Should have been more slams. Man, what's the point of a target combo if I can't cancel out of it? That sucks. Now it said that part of Oro's design was supposed to be inspired by Helio Gracie. It's Helio Gracie as an old man. And if I remember, it said that him hiding one arm behind his back when he fights is also possibly a nod to when Helio Gracie, at one point in his fight, at one point in his career, challenged the judoka. I forgot his first name, but I remember his last name was Kimura. Where the name of the move Kimura Lock came from? It was with that move, the Kimura Lock, that led to Helio Gracie's arm being broken. Even then he still refused to tap out. And so Oro's arm being behind his back when he fights recently in the third strike or the Street Fighter 3 series is based off of that. This game still continues the trend of him fighting mainly with one hand, but now he has that turtle with him instead of just, hiding his arm behind his back. It doesn't really matter, but it's still cool how much like real life can influence fighting games. without it becoming an issue of relying on realism. Oh, I wish it was command grab.
I shall persevere.
Especially his hit, seems like his hit grab. Some of his normal throws and other throw animations he has is also somewhat inspired by Helio Gracie. Helio Gracie's fighting style was Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Some of Oro's moves are like extreme forms of Jiu-Jitsu. Cause like the potential is there. The actual unblockable grab and his hit grab, if they made his hit grab an actual command grab, he could have been like a semi-grappler. I forgot about that. Ha ha ha! What I tell you about that grappling? How did that miss?
Go forward.
Man, did he need that long of an animation where he whipped? That's even more recovery than some of Zangief's command grabs. And I think that's saying something. I think you should focus on your wardrobe choices before. I like that. Focus on your wardrobe choices. Then again, this coming from the guy who was Street Fighter, who ditches. In this game, he has his default outfit is a more traditional robe to fight in. He ditches that for mere rags. In this game, he at least has underwear. In the Street Fighter 3 games, he doesn't even have any underwear. Like, I remember one of the most controversial things about Oro is that you can actually see his genitals in one of his animations.
Go forward. Go forward.
I'm like, how the heck did they even put that in the game and not get so much crap for from the media? Media back then wasn't like what it is today.
Go forward. Go forward. Go forward.
Dang it! I must be better than this.
This ice shall be your doom.
Yeah, where does Aura find all these turtles from anyway? Man! I'm barely edging out a victory by the skin of my teeth. My skills with Aura are improving. Ah, dang it!
Time to return to harmony. The curtain falls. I shall persevere.
Hey, why did I build so little meter in that whole round? That was weird. The Pyron skin looks so cool on him. I strive for the higher ideas of peace and harmony, not to stab off the world. Hey, who's he fooling?
Go forward.
It'd be nice if his crouching medium was cancelable. Ah, I should have went for a throw. Aye! How do I keep forgetting those have an actual hit stun? They're not like bombs, poison projectiles.
Go forward. Go forward. Cryokinesis, go forward. Cryokinesis. Go forward. Go forward. Cryokinesis, go forward. Cryokinesis. Cryokinesis, go forward. Cryokinesis. Go forward. Go forward. Cryokinesis, go.
Alright, this is gonna kill.
Time to return to harmony.
It's amazing how many heavy objects Oro can lift with just one hand. Makes me wonder what more can he lift if he uses both arms. You know, the only thing that sucks about Senjutsu in the world of Street Fighter is just knowing how much time, how grueling the training is. Well, training in real life is very grueling and demanding, but Senjutsu, because like Oro, it finally took him a long time, but it took him hundreds of years, and by the time he's finally mastered it, dude's already a very old man. So he ain't gonna find a lot of ladies who be attracted to him despite his immortality as a result. Like all these extra animations they added anytime you hit an opponent, it's hilarious. Yeah, Oro's definitely one of my favorite characters. I thought it was interesting because Street Fighter V takes place before Street Fighter 3. So it makes you wonder why Street Fighter V he has an actual gi and another alternate clothing to fight in. Yet in Street Fighter 3, what could have happened to where suddenly he's just fighting in rags? Mere clothing rags.
Iron Buggy is invincible, so beware! Let me test your speed.
Break it on, Pro Wrestler. What's weird and kind of creepy to me is how many people are upset that as a Street Fighter 5, Oro in his base outfit wears underwear, therefore you can't see his groin or any of his privates exposed, be it from the front or the back. You know, one of the things that sucks about playing as a grappler is how just difficult the game makes with landing a command grab. I'm like, man, let me at least land at least one command grab throughout that whole round. Like this guy right here. Okay, that was cool. Wait, didn't Zangief originally just have the spinning pile driver back in the original Street Fighter 2? Darn. Ah, here we go. Curse you, Red Cyclone. Who am I kidding? I'm a grappler main, so I can never get mad. Oh my goodness, all these ads on my phone. No, I don't want it. You have good skill time, man. No strength. Aura has plenty of strength. You just want to be able to tell by looking at his physique. At least I got to land that. Ah! How fortunate. I should have waited a little longer. Stomp on your head. I'm just gonna sit there and relax while you lay unconscious. Man, he's getting he's perfect, man. Oh, here's something. Oro. Rumored to be around 140 years old, he seems to have mastered the ability to live so long through sheer force of will. He believes, probably with good cause, that he must keep one arm sealed at all times when fighting an opponent to keep from killing them accidentally. Oro is the master of a very arcane form of martial arts. He's very in tune with the world around him. He has developed a limited form of telekinesis. Well, how limited are we talking? Because isn't telekinesis the ability to move objects with your mind, which he's shown very much doing pretty often? I guess limited as in just how far he could pull objects from, and how big and heavy said object he can lift.
Only half my effort should be enough.
Let's see, so proficient is he in the art of fighting that he seeks a worthy student to train and has yet to find a single candidate. However, he stumbles upon Ryu for the first time. He believes he may have found such a student. He becomes eager to find him and challenge him again as soon as the tournament ends. You know what would be cool is if your character meets Oro in Street Fighter 6, if they release him as DLC and you meet him in World Tour mode, and somehow he believes that not just Ryu but now you as well could be that worthy student he's looking for. perform Oro's personal action at a kick. His stun gauge will lower a bit. If you hold, he will continue to sleep and lose even more stun gauge power. So they don't do anything like that. I guess that really was a gimmick exclusive for Street Fighter 3. Because Street Fighter 4 onwards, any other game that came after Street Fighter 3, I can't remember if it was New Generation or specifically with Third Strike that started. Anyways, where if you use your character's taunt, it gives him some kind of unique ability. For Oro, his taunt would lower his stun gauge, and the longer you hold it, the lower his stun gauge would be. I guess that was just meant to be one of the unique gimmicks specifically for Street Fighter 3, along with the parry system. Yeah, because like technically they could have made Oro grappler if they wanted to. Let's see, having this move, the air version, as supers, or in this game, V triggers. He's supposed to have an air throw. Yeah. So a unique air throw. And they could have made this move a command grab. As well as back in Street Fighter 3, he had all these. Plus, his multi-slam, his air slam, and his multi-slam. So in this, in Street Fighter 3, he could have been like a semi-grappler. Not as grapple heavy as Zangief. Kind of like something like Abel, having not as many throws, but still able to grapple his opponent. Like these moves just show that at least in lore, he's strong enough to be able to grapple his opponent with one arm. But I guess they just figured they had enough grapplers already. They didn't really need any more. This move could be like considered a it's one of those judo throws. It's like Ryu's back throw. It's what they call a sacrificial type of throw. You could say like it's a same type of move, just Oro using one hand, using both of his feet to catapult the opponent. As for that, not really. For the course of Street Fighter 3, his forward throw was him getting on top of his opponent and putting them in a one-handed stranglehold. So yeah, plenty of moves based in jiu-jitsu or judo. Yeah, Tobo, his back throw, Tomonage is what it is, or what it's called. Here we go, Street Fighter 5. No, that's not her battle outfit. Her battle outfit is supposed to be the one where she has long hair. Man, it's so weird how he does that those snot bubbles when he sleeps. Really? Oh. Shut up, Chun-Li. Yes! Oh, I forgot about that challenge. Bison 2, man, Bison makes it a habit of making everybody. He's the one troll nobody likes. Even Gil isn't as annoying as Bison. Ah, there goes that. Dang it.
Don't hold a grudge, okay?
What was that, man? Dang it! That should have been a more. You really gotta play defensively with Oro. It's unfortunate. Can't rush down with him. Life points. Only 950 life points. Stun points 1050. Ah, dang it. Get a good succession like that going on with Oro is rare. At least for me it is.
Don't hold a grudge, okay?
It was good while it lasted. Good thing these are just player matches.
Oh, only half my effort should be enough.
The time has arrived. Come.
Something to pass the time. Oh. Yeah, here we go.
Another fight has come and gone.
Only half my effort should be enough. Oh, only half my effort should be enough. Oh, only half my effort should be enough. I guess it's time to start warming up.
I think I'm gonna do like one more match with Oro and that'll be it. Call it a... what's it called? Call it the game for the evening. Not gonna be the last time I do a stream tonight. Excuse me. More than likely I'll do another live stream as soon as I get back to the store. Let's see, forward medium, punch for medium kick, back medium kick. Yo, this sequence is, this unique attack is useless. I guess unless you're just going for the knockdown or something. And I guess, yeah, it's only good if you have V skill 1 to set up the projectile. Wait a minute, V skill 2. V skill 2. Okay, so it's neutral, back, or down. Not forward, okay. Tengu midair stone. Good to know there's still plenty of people playing Street Fighter 5, despite how much hate it's gotten over the years. There's like one streamer, Dead Ace BS standing for Beatdown Sessions. There's like one of his subscribers who shows up frequently, and that dude is always talking mad mess, nothing but talking mad crap about Street Fighter 5. Any opportunity, even before Street Fighter 6 came out, every time Street Fighter 5, when whenever Ace was streaming that game, he would take the time to talk crap about it. And even with Street Fighter 6 close to launch date, still talking a mess about Street Fighter 5. And even with Street Fighter 6 now out and about, he still takes the time to talk mess about it. I'm thinking, dang, I don't know anyone who's that hostile or aggressive or that obsessed with a game like Street Fighter 5, like that dude is. Not Ace himself, but one of his viewers. Ryu.
This is the path of my destiny.
Let's see who is the superior of my head.
Well then, let me test your skill.
Or why are your eyes red? Where are your pupils, man? Nope. Ooh, that worked pretty well. Wake up, Oro. Jackrabbit.
Damn it!
Oh, why I did. Oh, dang. I'm just trying to do like some kind of hit to go into my super. Darn it! With the judo throw. Oh, Ryu's moves are straight up judo. Or his throws are straight up judo. Oro, his are more based in jiu-jitsu. Ryu's straight up telling Oro he ain't doing this right now. Not from a near-ball, gold-skinned, red-eyed freak like you creep. Oh, wow. Yeah, I figured I wasn't gonna win that round. That's why I didn't bother using my super. Yep, I figured. As soon as I missed that heavy, that was the end of that. No, forget what I said. I want one more match. I really cannot get his second V skill to work for me. It doesn't help. Like it doesn't go past projectiles. It doesn't even. I don't know. It just doesn't do much. Yeah, I'm better off using his V skill 1, his orb, because V skill 2. I don't know, like unless it's against an opponent who has absolutely no projectiles like Zangief, then you're better off with these skills. 2, not so much. I should watch more Brian F videos. A lot more of his videos. That could help me.
Oh, only half my effort should be enough.
Hey, how come all characters can't have alternate costumes that not only change the color of their clothes, but the color of their skin as well? They used to do that for Street Fighter, for a lot of characters. You can't jump cancel it like regular jump punch. Oh, at least that worked. Neutral. So down is a high arc. Back is a low, makes it bounce low to the ground. Neutral is the normal one. Like almost everyone who I see play Oro uses his Tengu Stone. I am definitely not ahead of the pack, considering I prefer to use his use trigger 1 as unblockable. Excuse me. I forget, how much did I eat, man? Honestly, I had those crispy onions and that cheese pizza. Little Caesar's pizza is so good. You know, Oro is the only person who I can imagine legitimately being able to fight on top of a flying airplane.
Damn it!
I like the sound it makes when you summon on the top.
Predictable.
This guy's playing a bit more cowardly compared to the last one. Oh, that sucks.
Good.
You know, I want another match after this, but not against this guy. This guy's no fun. Yeah, that was no fun at all. Something about that guy's playstyle is just too cowardly. Definitely not for me. question her in the ass. He's still hip with it. Capcom Fighters. I forgot they made JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Capcom made that at one point. Marvel superheroes. But no X-Men Children of the Atom. I'm big enough for that. Marvel's Capcom 1, 2, Infinite, Ultimate Marvel 3. That's not this Capcom. 2D Fighters. Blaze Blue, Chrono Phantasma, Dragon Ball Fighters, Fighting EX Layer. I had that game too. It is so rare to get an online match though. That's why I don't really stream that game. Killer Instinct, Caleb. 13, 14. In fact, let's see. That game was it between what was it? What other games do I have that's rare to get an online match? Because there's also Samurai Showdown. It's almost like once in a blue moon. It'd be almost like once a month, if even that. That's how frequent it is for me to get online matches in Samurai Showdown. Same thing with Fighting EX Layer, kind of. That one's almost like once or twice a month. A bit more frequently than Samurai Showdown, but by a small margin. The weird thing with the weird thing with Virtua Fighter though is how I'll get a match, but then the person who supposedly I'm matched with won't even respond. They won't accept the match. And even if they do, I just get an opponent who they don't do anything. They just spam the same 2 or 3 hit combo, which needless to say is very annoying. Like, well, I'm like, why are you even playing this game online if you're just gonna spam the same move over and over again? Unless it's the exact same person just using different characters. Hey, they haven't updated. Event Hubs hasn't updated the site to include Dead or Alive 6. Some of the games you can take a look at. They still have Soul Calibur 5 and 6. They're spreading each other's germs all over the place. It's nasty. Man, what a disaster. In a way, it feels like Soul Calibur 6 was something of a disaster. I have not heard any updates for the game in a while. Of course, not as much as Dead or Alive 6 in recent years. I remember I was talking about when they announced Tira for Soul Calibur 6. And that was before the game even came out. And I was talking to one dude, and I was telling him how I found it annoying. I find it annoying when games announce their DLC before a game is even out. And he was all like, oh, well, the reason why she's DLC is because this was before technically she made her debut, which was in the 3rd game. This takes place before the 2nd game. And I was like, this stupid, idiotic mother sucker. That was not at all what I was talking about. And I'm explaining how my issue isn't why she's DLC. I was just talking about games announcing their DLC before the game's even out. I hate when that happens. When I'm talking about something, like, it's not like I'm talking about something complicated. I say it exactly as I mean it, and yet somehow they still get it confused. I'm like, what am I speaking some other language that you don't understand or something? Ah, Soul Calibur 5. Man. Wait a minute. Okay. Yeah, Soul Calibur 5. That was a weird game. A lot of the new characters they gave us, a lot of fans hated. Patroclus, Pyrrha, Zwei. Celebrating 30 years of greatness, Snoop Dogg performing Doggy Style debut album of greatest hits. Wiz Khalifa, Too Short, Warren G, Burner, DJ Drama. See, who are the grapplers throughout Dead or Alive 5? Damon, Beth, Tina. Hey, where's Leon? He should be on this list. He's like a semi-grappler. Does Late Day count as like a semi-grappler? No, actually. Mila. I like Mila. She's one of my favorite. She was one of my favorite characters in Dead or Alive 5. Man, where is everybody? Or is there no one playing right now? Man, Bateman's one of my favorite characters. Dude's so dead serious. And only focus on doing the damn job. But his throws, man, his throws are so deadly. What's interesting is that Bateman is a lot like Dragunov to me. Not just the fact that they both do combat sambo, but specifically the fact that for so many years I played Tekken and Dead or Alive games back when I was such an amateur fighting games. And like I knew pro wrestlers like Bass, Tina, and King, Marduk, and Armor King were grapplers, but I didn't know that people like Dragunov and Bayman in their games were also grapplers. I guess just because the look of their design, their designs, don't exactly scream grappler to me, so I had no idea until like I read somewhere that someone mentioned. I think I saw someone mention Bayman being a grappler. Definitely, I read somewhere. I think it was on YouTube. Someone mentioning Dragunov being a grappler, and I was like, "What? No way!" Until I looked at his moveset and saw all his throws. Not as many as King, obviously. Finally, so not as many throws as King, but still plenty to make him a grappler. Like that's ultimately what you need in a 3D fighting game. You have to have plenty of unique standing throws, as well as a low throw. At least one. So you have someone like Nina with all her throw combinations. Yet she's not a grappler. one of my friends tried to argue that she is, but I'm like, no, she's not, because all she has is standing throws. She doesn't have any low or even any ground throws. Dragona doesn't have any ground throws, but he does have low throws, or at least he has one. He even has a few combo strings that go into it. So yeah, he's not as grapple heavy as... Dragona's not as grapple heavy as King or Armor King or Marduk. But still, he's grappler. In fact, in Tekken 7, he had the second best throw game right behind King, since they were the only two grapplers when that game came to consoles before they gave us Marduk and Armor King. Although Jack himself, he has high and low throws, but he's not considered a grappler. I rarely see people go for his throws. Virtual Fighter. If only I got the respect it deserved. I don't think we're ever going to get a Virtual Fighter 6 at this point. Man, 2012. Super old. Connection with... Oh man. Yeah, you know, screw it. I'm gonna hop off. Let me get to the store. Let me put this one more couple more combos.
Should I try this? Should I try this? Should I try this? Should I?
Oro's cool. Actually, I wonder if it's because of his power of telekinesis that's how he's able to lift opponents with one arm and swing them around so much. Or if it's literally just superhuman strength. You know, I prefer if it's just that, like, he's just so superhumanly strong, he can lift anyone, even the likes of Abigail, and swinging them around with one arm. Like, Abigail's got to be somewhere, his physical strength's got to be somewhere between small to building level plus, just based on his sheer size and muscle mass alone. Whereas Oro's all the way to either level, so I'd rather if he's just that dang strong that he could throw someone like Abigail around. Although it'd be cool if he had other moves and supers that took advantage of his telekinesis, not just Tengu Stone. Huh. Alright, that's gonna be it for now. I'm gonna come back and find... Oh, maybe I could do like a couple of short streams after this. Maybe... Oh, I really wish I could stream Xenoverse 2. That game is so fun, but yeah, for some reason PS4 won't let me stream directly from my system with that game. Oh well, maybe Black Ops Cold War. Let's see, Black Ops Cold War, DC Online, or Neo 2. Now I remember what I was gonna do. Alright, that's it.